Hello, everyone. My name is Ravi Aminigan, and I serve as Associate Provost for International Programs at the University of Delaware. In my role, I oversee the internationalization strategy and global engagement portfolio for the institution. I also hold a faculty appointment in our School of Education, and my research focuses on the experiences of international students in higher education. So in this session, I will share findings from my study on the international student experience, and particularly from an important satisfaction gap analysis standpoint. The topic of international student experience is one that is quite dear to me, not only as a researcher and international educator, but also because I was once an international student myself in the United States many years ago. So researching what really matters to these students as part of their university experience, both inside and outside of the classroom, is quite validating for me, not only professionally, but also on a personal level. So international students contribute significantly to the higher education sector, not only economically, but also intellectually, culturally, and socially. As several studies have found, internationally mobile students help build intercultural competencies among all students across campus through meaningful interactions and engagement. In turn, the unique perspectives and experiences across cultures, languages, and educational systems help enhance the diversity and internationalization efforts of institutions. So to remain competitive in the global market, even more so following the COVID-19 global pandemic, institutions of higher education around the world have adopted ambitious and somewhat aggressive recruitment strategies to boost their international student enrollment goals. That said, many still struggle to successfully integrate and engage their students with the larger campus university community, as well as locally after they arrive to their campus. I think this stresses the importance for university administrators and support staff to increase their understanding on what really matters to their international students and which key resources and services they should provide to this community to support their academic success and overall college experience. So I use Kano's important satisfaction model from 1984 and some more recent work from myself and Caro from 2021 as the conceptual framework for this study. I investigate experiences of over 200 international degree-seeking students at a mid-sized university in the Mid-Atlantic region of the United States. The important satisfaction model was originally developed to measure customer satisfaction and expectation in the area of product and service development. So this model examines really as a basis customer experiences with the goal of improved performance. And that's really done through quality management and, of course, looking at the difference in perceived expectations that can indicate a gap in service quality. The research was set in 2021 when students were enrolled in a combination of virtual and in-person classes. It specifically examines the importance and satisfaction ratings of various aspects of the program across 10 different dimensions of institutional experience. So while a majority of studies in international higher education tend to measure the satisfaction or dissatisfaction of students with their program, it is argued that this approach can be one-dimensional and often leaves out what respondents value, that is their experience in evaluating college experience. So the present research uses a 4-point Likert scale in a 2-dimensional matrix to measure both satisfaction and importance. As I said earlier on, the constructs were adapted from Aminigan and Caro's study in 2021. It is a 100-item long instrument structured around 12 different components, including a demographic section and an overall satisfaction item. The 10 categories, as you can see here on the slide, ranges from pre-arrival to living, socio-cultural, all the way to support services and the community experience. So the International Student Services Office at the university site invited all enrolled students, those are international degree-seeking students, to complete the online survey by email. Of the 1,756 degree-seeking students present at the university site at that point, 200 completed the survey, representing an 11.4% response rate. About 48% were at the doctoral level, and 30.5% were at the undergraduate level of study. The average age of participants were 26.6 years old, and students were enrolled in 31 different academic disciplines, with engineering and arts and sciences being the most enrolled subjects. All the quantitative analysis were conducted using IBM's SPSS software, and I use both descriptive statistics and inferential statistics to analyze the data. So analysis, some of the findings. I found that the study revealed various gaps in service quality, and I think that demonstrates areas in which additional resources and improvement might be needed to support international students. A positive, statistically significant gap where the importance value is larger than the satisfaction value indicates that the institution is not meeting expectations around these aspects of experience, and therefore might require an improvement plan. On the other hand, a negative significant gap would mean that no management attention would be necessary at that time, since satisfaction outweighs importance. So table 1 here shows the overall categories rated by importance and satisfaction, and then, of course, the gap value. Overall, international students were generally satisfied across all 10 dimensions of institutional experience. That said, a number of overall categories needed the attention of the institution. That includes family, health and safety, and pre-arrival experiences. The university also excelled at a number of other categories, including support services and the learning experience. So these findings point to different high priority and low priority variables for the institution. The high priority variables showed that action is needed. And as you can see here in table 2, there's a summary of all the high priority and low priority variables within each dimension of the institutional experience. These include the need to improve support on visa application and immigration advising in particular. The opportunities to study across multicultural groups was pointed out, an area that needed attention. Living and accommodation options, mental health and wellness, campus and public safety, and of course, as I mentioned earlier, family and community resources were also part of the areas for improvement. So looking at implications from the study and the recommendations that I was able to formulate based on the findings, really behooves institutions to adopt a highly collaborative campus-wide outreach approach for administrating a service model or support services to their students. For instance, in the case of providing services on immigration and visa issues, it is important for the host institution to assist incoming students before they even arrive to campus. And that can be done through pre-arrival orientation sessions and virtual advising sessions, so on and so forth. In terms of ensuring the wellness and well-being of students, international service officers must collaborate with their health center to offer counseling services, health workshops, and other types of orientation programs that help students understand the resources that they can access when they are on campus. These include health plans, insurance policies, so on and so forth. And then there are other support services like academic advising, career guidance, social engagement. All these require effective campus-wide partnerships to make them both accessible and integrative resources to help enhance the student experience. So the International Services Office, which is generally known as the designated support office for international students, can play a unique role here in coordinating this entire process of supporting international students on campus. We also have the responsibility as institutions to make students feel welcome and create a sense of belonging, especially during difficult times and times of crisis. So the host institution must look at ways to provide innovative and engagement based programs such as orientation, transition programs to their students when they arrive. This is particularly important for new and incoming international students, where universities have an opportunity to set clear guidelines and ensure up-to-date information on what to accept and how to access resources when students are preparing to travel to your campus. I also think support services need to be strategic in their outreach and communication efforts, how to get information out about resources through effective means of communication, both electronically and in person, and you know, an overall holistic strategic communication plan can really help relay vital information to that student community. And it also goes without saying that institutions must continue to assess the needs, challenges, and experiences of their students. And that can be done through both qualitative and quantitative methods to gain real-time insights and feedback, really the voice of students on a constantly changing level of preferences and experiences from that community. So although insights from this study are not meant to be generalizable, they merit consideration and can serve as a point of reference for further discussion and research. Some of the considerations discussed in this presentation can be relevant to institutions globally, as they also seek to enhance the experiences of international students and their success on the various respective campuses. One of the limitations of the study is that it uses self-reporting online survey, and that can be the subject to social desirability and response bias. I will also say that the generalized aspect of the research is further constrained by the fact that its overall sample size was relatively low, and that 48.5% of its respondents were represented by only 2 countries, and that was China and India. So future research should really consider adding a qualitative approach to seeking a deeper understanding and knowledge on issues experienced by international students and various groups of international students across different nationalities and host institutions worldwide. So here's a list of the references related to this study. And I want to say thank you for the opportunity to present at the ISAS conference. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at any time. Thank you very much.